Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do a little Q&A. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and I asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions for me, and I just made a list of most frequently asked questions. And I'm gonna jump right in because I don't want the video to be super long. Yeah, they're in no particular order. I'm just gonna start with the first one and just work my way down. So the first question is, how do you make time to spend with your husband? And the truth is, as with anything that I do, you guys know I'm always, or I strive to be always as authentic and honest as I can be. So I'll be like super honest and candid about everything that I share with you, like always. So truth be told, we have not been doing so well in that department. So if you know our story a little bit, we met in 2014, was it? 2014, I think, yeah. And we fell in love and we decided to move in together, and then I got pregnant with Adriana before we were even married. So then, you know, we got married, then we had Adriana, and then I got pregnant with Andrea. So it's been like a whirlwind in our relationship, and to be honest with you, we haven't really had that much time to really kind of like devote to each other and like really get to know each other. And I mean, we know each other really well, but I'm talking about more like one-on-one, like intimate times. We do our best, you know, we have two little ones, and you know, it's tough to make time for us, for just the two of us, but we do our best. And my mom is really great at that. She always offers that if we ever do want to go out, then she will stay at our place while the kids are sleeping in the evenings. And we do try to do it, but definitely don't do it nearly as often as we would like to or as we should. But again, you know, it's been a tough ride with Andreas because he's just been more challenging. We love him to death, but he's just a bit more of a needy, challenging baby. So it's been tough, you know, being sleep deprived. It's just, your mind, your brain is just not there, but it's getting a bit better. I mean, he turned 8 months old yesterday, which I still can't believe that it's been 8 months since he's been born. And I think hopefully the only way from here is up. I think the most important thing is that you try your best. Like with anything, you just do your best, and I think we both know that about each other, that we do our best when it comes to putting the effort into the relationship, and that's all that matters. Really, if you look at the big picture, you know, they'll be little for such a short time, because the time really flies by, and as they get older, we'll have more opportunities to kind of devote to each other. So that's that. Moving on to the next question: how to overcome a breakup and rejection. I mean, I'm definitely not an expert on the topic by any means, but I've had my fair share of breakups in the past, and it's not easy. Again, I'll be super honest with you guys. I've struggled with that in the past. I've been rejected a few times by the men that I thought I was meant to be with, and that's kind of like the thing with me. I am just a very emotional person. When I fall in love like deep and hard, especially in the past. And I was a love addict where I was always looking for love, and it's definitely hurts, and it definitely kicks you in the most vulnerable place. So the biggest takeaway that I got from my own experiences is to focus on self-love, and that's something that I'm learning to this day. It's not something that I have perfected, so to speak. So yeah, I think that you just need to focus on loving yourself, and when you do that, and when you create habits of self-love and you start really deeply loving yourself, then it helps you to feel compassion towards yourself instead of feeling like unwanted, so to speak. So you kind of give back to yourself and you make yourself feel wanted by yourself. And I think that would probably be the best way to do it. And then also finding hobbies that bring joy to you. So we all have something that we enjoy doing, whether it's, I don't know, exercising, or, you know, being active, or doing some kind of art where it's music or painting or sculpting or tennis, or whatever activity that it is that brings you joy, being around animals, being around kids, whatever it is that brings you joy. Expose yourself to those experiences and activities to kind of not get your mind off of things, but to just bring more positivity into your life. So that would be the best thing. And then also, time really is the best healer as time goes on, and as you rewrite your experiences with more positive ones, it will kind of help to heal the wound of rejection or a breakup. So that's that. Moving on to the next question. How did I lose the baby weight? So to be honest with you, again, I didn't really gain as much weight with both of my pregnancies. I don't even remember or care for the actual number. I just know that it was whatever it was just kind of like during the pregnancy. And then as I gave birth, both times the weight kind of just like came off with the baby, and then over time as you breastfeed, it also kind of like, I guess, dissolved, so to speak. So I think I'm back to the weight, maybe a couple pounds heavier than I was prior to getting pregnant with Andreas this time around. But really, it's not the weight that I'm concerned about. For me personally, it is how I feel in my body, and I don't feel good in my body right now because I have a little bit of a pooch, so to speak. My abs are really, there's like zero tone in my abs. I forget what it's called, something. I'm not even gonna pretend. If I remember or if I look it up, I'll write it somewhere here. But I had a condition with both pregnancies where the middle of your abs like separates, and so because of that, your tone in your midsection is never really going to be the same. But there are things and exercises that you can do to help yourself rebuild that strength and that tone in your midsection. I have been terrible at kind of devoting the time necessary to get that done. So yeah, you guys know, I started working out recently. It's kind of like my goal and my intention to get back to having strength. Again, for me, it's about strength and feeling toned, and right now I just feel flabby and like loose. Again, the weight doesn't matter because it's how you feel in your body, really. So yeah, I think when you focus again on being healthy and being active and eating well, it sounds like such a cliche, but it's true. The weight will just kind of leave your body naturally. If you are exercising and you're active and you're eating well, then like I said, the weight will just kind of eventually disappear, I think. So yeah. Okay, so the next question is how to keep motivated during low days. The thing that I do when I feel down is really trying to embrace those dark, low emotions, as opposed to like rejecting them or pretending they're not there. And that to me it just comes with experience, where you know that, you know, everything in life is transitory, nothing really lasts, whether it's happy feelings or sad feelings or angry feelings or frustrated, whatever emotion that it is that we feel, nothing really lasts. So I think what I've learned is just to sit with those emotions and those feelings. And the way I explain emotions to Adriana now that she's a bit older and is experiencing a lot more tantrums and things like that, I explained it to her that emotions are kind of like clouds. And I think it's such a great analogy. I don't even know where it came to me from one day, but it really, I feel like, is the perfect way to describe it. So there's a cloud of whatever emotion it is that you feel. That cloud is there, and then it's just gonna move along at some point. So what I do, is I just will feel whatever it is I'm feeling, the low feeling, and knowing that it is passing through and it will leave at some point. And then for me, I turn to spending time with my cats, because they bring me joy and they're just full of love. And of course my kids, and music always helps, the type of music that you feel kind of drawn to. And then what I also always do is, to bring myself out of that rut, is I listen to something motivating. So whether it's a book or a podcast or, I don't know, a talk of some inspiring person, whatever it is. And right now there's just so much out there. There is no excuse, whether it is, again, free podcasts or stuff on YouTube. It's just, there's so much out there to help us. And then of course, one of the most important things to do, which I've been neglecting because again, I haven't had the time to devote to that, is meditation. But it's a whole other topic for another time. But yeah, making time for mindfulness and meditation. And that is part of kind of like sitting with your emotions and feeling them, really. So yeah, that is what I do, and that for me helps me to deal with those low feelings. All right, so next question is books on raising children, and I'm not going to go into depth on this one here because I am very passionate about this topic, and I'm actually going to be making a video soon just dedicated to that, because I get a lot of questions on that, just to recommend stuff. And if I talk about it here, it will be like at least half an hour, because I really do feel very passionate about a topic. So just look out for that video. I'll be filming that soon and talking more in depth about the types of books that I'm reading slash listening to now because I don't have time to read, but the books that are really making a difference in my life and in helping me be a more conscious, aware, and loving, compassionate parent. So moving on to the next question, how do you manage 2 kids? And it was definitely a struggle when I had the 2 of them at home. It was not easy for me to do that because I'm the type of person that I like more one-on-one. Now one-on-one, I'm really good with either one of them, but when I have the 2 of them, and because each one has such a different pace, a baby's pace is very different from a toddler's pace. Toddlers are so much faster and they just want to go, and you know, they move faster, their brain works faster, and babies just so much more peaceful and relaxed, and you kind of slow down the pace. So I found it very difficult for me to manage the 2 of them, just like energy wise, because one needs me to be more like slow down, and then the other one just needs me to be more go. So it was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge, and you just try your best. Again, like with anything, you just try your best. But I feel like in that case, Andreas was kind of getting the worst of me because, you know, I have to interact with Adriana when she's around. So I would be talking, responding to her, and then kind of not giving him more of what he would need, and then when she would be either napping or out or whatever, then I would be able to kind of focus on him. So it's not easy, I'll be honest with you guys, it's not easy to manage. And again, it depends on the age gap, I guess, but for me I found it very challenging, again because I'm more like one-on-one type of person. So you just do your best to try to manage caring for them and giving them whatever it is that they need, giving them, most importantly, love. So that's how I would answer that one. And the next question, how does it feel to live so far from your sister? And it sucks, guys, I'm not gonna lie, it sucks, especially now that we both have kids. I wish so much that we could have been closer and that our kids would be growing up together, but again, it's life, and I couldn't be happier for Mimi and Alex and Alexa, because I know that they are living out their dreams of living in London and traveling the world. And Alexa is really blessed to have such amazing parents that expose her to so much, because I think truly the best school for kids, for babies and kids, is to travel, because they are exposed to so much. So in that case, yeah, Alexa is very blessed, and I'm so happy for them. And you know, we do our best to get together whenever we can. Obviously it's not as easy as if you live in the same city or close by, but you know, we're very blessed. They're able to travel, and we just, you meet when you can. And then of course, in this day and age, having technology, having access to like FaceTime and whatever, makes things a lot easier. So we do try to keep in touch and chat on FaceTime whenever we can, but it is hard. It's hard to be away from your sister, and it's just life though, right? So moving on to the next question, do you ever get nervous or frustrated with your kids, and do you ever raise your voice? And of course, I mean, if someone will tell you that they don't, either they are not being honest, or I don't know, they are like a saint, because I don't know, I do feel frustrated with my kids, and I do sometimes, on occasion, I try very hard not to raise my voice, but sometimes, you know, you're overtired, you are exhausted, you're overwhelmed with whatever is going on. And you know, especially with a toddler, obviously, like the baby doesn't really understand what they're doing, but the toddler does. And you know, with the tantrums, and sometimes they do need you to kind of like put your foot down. I don't think raising your voice is ever the solution, and I 99.9% of the time don't do it. But once in a while, when I've just had enough, it comes out. And then most importantly, I try my hardest to explain to Adriana why it happened, and then apologize for it, because I don't want to, you know, cause any kind of damage in her experiences. So I will, once everything kind of calms down and we're both calm, I will explain to her why I overreacted, why I raised my voice, and then apologize for it, because again, I don't believe that raising your voice is ever the solution. But again, we're all human and it happens sometimes. So I think, again, for me, most importantly is trying to explain to them how life works and how, like, just our human condition, you know, as much as you can, to just simplify it for a toddler to understand. Hopefully that makes sense. Next question, do you plan on having more kids? And if you asked me that a couple months ago, I would have said no, because it's just been so tough with Andreas, just the transition from having 1 to 2. I would have just said no, I'm done. But right now I feel like not anytime soon. I definitely don't feel ready and I probably won't feel ready for at least a couple years. But I feel like it's a maybe right now. I feel like in the future, if I'm in a better place and I feel, you know, rested again, and I feel like I have more time to give to myself when they're a bit older, I might reconsider. So right now it's a maybe. I don't know. So next question, does being positive come easy to you, or do you have to work hard at it? And that is such a great question, because it's very hard for me to be positive, guys. I don't know if you can tell that from the videos that you watch, like kind of knowing me through social media or not, but it does not come naturally to me. And I will be honest with you, I feel very envious in a way, in like a way of people that are naturally happy and it comes easier to them, because it's probably so much easier for them to live. I've always kind of had this, not like a dark side, but I'm just more of like a introspective type of person, and it doesn't come easy to me. Positivity doesn't come easy to me. I have to work very, very hard on it, and part of it is being very sensitive and like highly sensitive a person. So like I feel things, and I feel things deeply, and when you feel things, sometimes it kind of tips over into the deep kind of emotions, and staying positive is not easy. So like I said, going back to like the question before, where how do you deal with low moments or whatever, what I talked about there, same things I do as far as bringing positivity into my life. So next question, will you do a house tour? Yes, I absolutely will. It is something I would love to do, but right now, guys, the house is nowhere near where I want it to be. We just basically like moved our stuff right in and haven't had really any time to do any changes or really even finish decorating the house. So I can't really show you anything now, because it's literally like we just kind of took the stuff out of boxes and put them in place, and like the kids' rooms are not done. I just this weekend found drapes or like curtains for Andreas's room. So once everything is kind of a little bit more up to par, then I will definitely do a house tour. But you can see kind of glimpses into the house even now through like vlogs and stuff. But yeah, I definitely will do a house tour once I feel like the house is, oh boy. So I was almost done with all the questions, and then Andreas just woke up from his nap, so he's gonna be joining me for the final few questions. I don't know if I finished talking about the last question about the house tour, but yeah, I will definitely do the house tour, but not yet. I just want things to be a bit more done before I do like a full house tour. So the next question is my breastfeeding journey. So with Adriana, I breastfed for about 6.5, 7 months, and with Andreas 5.5 months. He's been on formula since then, and even prior to that my supply just kind of went down and down and down, and I had to start supplementing, and then slowly it just really kind of went down to just a few ounces and wasn't really happening. So sadly I had to stop, and it was really, really heartbreaking for me, because I would have loved to be able to breastfeed for as long as possible with both of them. And with Adriana, I went back to school, so I was pumping more than I was like breastfeeding her, and I think that probably affected the supply. And with Andreas, I think just being overly exhausted and overly stressed because we were moving and just like a lot happening, I think stress affected the supply. So yeah, unfortunately it wasn't as long as I wanted to, but with both of them I was really, really praying that I'm able to breastfeed for the first 6 months before they start solids, which I was able to kind of do for him like 5.5 months. So yeah, so that's that. And then the last question is, how did you know it was the right time to send Adriana to preschool, and how do you still make time to make her feel like she has your attention? And for me, how did I know it was the right time? I could just tell that she was emotionally ready, and also and also during the day, because you know, I have the little one, just the pace again was so tough for us to handle, where I couldn't organize as many activities for her as I could tell she really needed. And also I really felt like she was missing out because she wasn't around kids her age. So just developmentally, I felt like she was ready on every level, and I was ready as well. And how do I make time? So it's been a bit of a transition, but now that this is our 4th week of her going, like a full week. The first 2 weeks were like 3 days and then 3 days, and then last week was full week, and this week is our 2nd full week. So she's doing much better. at transitioning from school to home and from home to school, so it just takes time to adjust. Whenever I am with her, I just give her my full presence, my full heart and everything. So oh, and it just started snowing. So pretty, look at the snowflakes. And that's Mashki snoring. Sorry, I'm just so distracted now. But yeah, so I just give her my full presence whenever I am with her. Yeah, I just support her in the transition and helping her to just feel loved no matter what, because she has been having a bit more tantrums now. And yeah, just helping her through those tantrums with just love and trying to explain to her that no matter what she goes through, she's always loved and always supported. So that concludes all the questions. I gotta go feed this little munchkin now. He is probably ready for lunch. Are you ready for lunch? Are you ready for lunch? Hey? So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And those of you that submitted your questions on Instagram, I love doing these Q&As because I feel like it's kind of like a chat between us. Did you drop it? Here you go. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Whoa, whoa. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Bye. Bye, guys. Bye.